Hello and welcome. My name is Kelly Waymond. Thank you, Felicia, for that introduction. Today I'm in the Silhouette office down in Linden, Utah, and we're just happy to have you here. I'm not able to read the chats very much, but I have got Autumn in the background that is paying attention to the chat, and so she will feed me questions. If you guys have questions, just let me know as they come up, and I should be able to answer those for you. Let's go ahead and I'll show you what we are doing today. So this is a little pocket hug. So I wanted to show you engraving with the Curio 2 and wanted to make something cute because I like cute things. So this is a little pocket hug. And we're going to engrave the acrylic. So I'll show you all how to do that. And then we're also going to cut out this little paper heart pocket to put it in because the Curio 2 also cuts cardstock. So that will be fun. Let me go ahead and show you what we're going to be using. So we will use the Silhouette Curio 2. And for this, we will use the debris tray. This does not come with the machine. This is a tray that you buy as a separate purchase. And if you want to do anything like engraving, that's going to leave little shavings and things, you definitely need to use the debris tray. And that's a great purchase. And I'll also show you that we can use the cutting mat on the debris tray. As far as other materials, so we will use the Power Engraver. This is also an additional purchase that runs in the Curio 2. It does not run in any other Silhouette machines. It has a little engraver tip, and it is powered, and we'll show you how that works in a little bit. We will also use just an auto blade, regular auto blade, and the Curio 2 does come with that. And just the way that I use engraving, I'm going to show you a little trick that I use. And so we're going to use the pen holder, and this is the pen holder type B. So this is the type of pen holder you would use in the Cameo 4 and the so it may be labeled as a Cameo 4 pen holder. You can use it in the Cameo 5 as long as you put it in the left-hand tool holder. So this has a number 1 on it because it goes in the left side, the same side as the auto blade. So hopefully that's not too confusing. If it's got a number 1 on it, it goes in the side that says number 1. If it's got a number 2 on it, it goes in the side that says number 2. We will use just a Sharpie marker or regular ballpoint pen. That's what we're going to use in the adjustable pen holder. We will use it's nice to have a little brush to brush away the shavings from the engraving that we'll be doing. We have got little acrylic blanks. So these are 2.25 inches and it still has a covering on it. So sometimes the covering is clear, sometimes it's got this paper covering and it's on both sides. I'll show you how to work with that. You can actually, what I'm showing you for engraving today, that will work for other types of acrylic and different sizes. And so if you don't have exactly this piece of acrylic, but you've got some round acrylic piece, it should work for what we're doing today. We'll use some masking tape. This is the Silhouette masking tape, and I believe a little roll comes with the Curio 2. It certainly is used a lot with the debris tray, so it might come with the debris tray, I'm not sure. You can also use washi tape if you don't have this Silhouette tape. I am going to use a Silhouette cutting mat for the second half of the class. We're going to use a piece of copy paper. This can actually be scratch paper and have writing on it already. It doesn't matter. And then we'll use a piece of cardstock. So I've got a couple colors to choose from. And then I have a set of baker's twine, or I can't remember what, it's not embroidery floss, but this is just a thin twine. And so any little thin twine will work for the accent on our pocket we're going to make. Okay, so I think that covers the supplies we're going to be using. Do you have any questions so far?
No, you're right.
Okay, we will be using a couple of designs, and you don't have to use the designs I'm using, but I will tell you what those are as we get to them. Okay, so I'm going to turn on my screen sharing, and we will pop into Silhouette Studio. All right. All right, so everybody should be able to see my screen with Silhouette Studio. And first, we're going to go ahead and do our page setup. So if you have the Curio selected as your machine, and if you don't have your page setup already showing, it's just this top right panel here. You can click on that and it'll show your page setup. So you want to choose your machine as a Curio 2. The tray, when it opens up, it wants to do the electrostatic bed. Well, we're not actually going to use that one. We're going to use the debris tray. And so we'll switch the tray to debris tray. And for now, we're going to say the cutting mat is none. And then the media size, just use whatever scratch paper size you're going to use. So that little piece of copy paper I had is a piece of letter size copy paper. So I'm switching that to letter. And you can see on the screen that you've got your letter size paper. And I'm going to zoom out a little bit just so you can see. This gives a representation of what the Curio 2 looks like from above, just so you kind of have an idea of what your paper looks like in relation to the rest of the machine. And it's got just this visual image of the debris tray and your little pen holder. So that's kind of a nice feature. We'll zoom back in a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead and start by creating the blank for our piece of acrylic. And so it's just round. So over here on the left, we've got the drawing tools. So I'm going to click on the drawing tools and I want a circle, which I can't actually see right now because my got little zoom bars in front. Okay, so circle. And so I'm going to bring my cursor over here to the page and I'm going to hold my shift key while I click and drag out a perfect circle shape. If I let go of the shift key, it'll turn it into an oval. If I hold my shift key, it'll be that perfect circle shape. So once I've got that, I want to set it to the size of the blank I'm using. So mine is a 2.25 inch blank. So I'm going to go over here to the quick access toolbar. And while that circle is selected, I want to make sure my lock button is showing locked for lock aspect ratio. And then I can choose either the width or the height and put 2.25 inches in there. And then that'll change it proportionally. All right, and next we're going to use the text tool. And so over here on the left, we've got a text tool. Click on that, and then you'll have a cursor you can tap down on your page. So click on the page, and in all caps, I'm going to type pocket hug. Now I can either hit return to put those on two separate lines, or while this is in text edit mode, I've got this blue bar over here on the right, and I can drag that to put those onto two separate lines. Just drag it inward and it'll make those, force those line breaks for you. All right, and then over to, we want to change the font to, you can put any font you want. I'm using a font that is actually available for free in the Silhouette Design Store, and it is number 253498. It's called Fresh Mix. So I'm going to click off to the side so I'm not in text edit mode anymore, and then I'm going to click once again to reselect that as an object. That's just an easier way. You could, if you're in text edit mode, you can click and drag to select the letters to change the font, but I just like to select it all at once. Those are both options for you. So I've already installed the fresh mix, so I'm going to just start typing it in, and it will populate fresh mix in my font list. And again, if you don't have that font, you can choose a different font. All right, gotta go with switching my notes so I don't lead you all astray. Okay, so now I want to make this smaller so it will fit inside that circle. You can see it's too big right now. I'm also going to change the justification so it's center justified. And now I can just click a corner handle and drag that down to make that smaller. And I can see over here, both at the top with the quick access toolbar and over here with my text style panel still open, it tells me what font size that is. And I've decided that 34.42 is the font size I want. And that shrunk that down so it didn't break the line again. So I'm just going to double click to enter text edit mode and change that line break again. Okay. So I've got that the size I want. I want a little bit of space between pocket and hug because I'm going to add a little heart in there. You don't have to, but I think that's kind of fun. So select it again, and over here again with the text style panel, I'm going to increase my line spacing to 155% line spacing. So just over here, down towards the bottom of your text style panels where you can increase your line spacing and create that extra gap in between those two lines. All right, so now I want a little heart in there. So I'm going to go to my library, and the heart I want is, let's see, it's called Heart Cluster. But if you are purchasing it or looking for it in your library, it's 1788882. So there it is, Heart Cluster, and just double click to open that. And I don't need all of those attached ones, so I'm going to right click and ungroup so I can use just this cute little outline heart. And this other group I can just delete or move all the way over to the side so it won't cut. So this little heart, it works at 0.5 inches tall. So again, I could drag the corner handle, or I can take the shortcut and make sure my aspect ratio is locked and just type in 0.5 inches. And that is a good size. All right, so I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit so you can see what that looks like a little closer. So I want to make sure that this looks centered, and I also don't want it too close to the edge. So when you're engraving, you want to leave a little bit of leeway. You do not want that tool to go fall off the side and try and get back on in case it shifts down a little bit. So I always leave a little bit of a gap. So make sure you're not right against the border of your acrylic blank. And then I'm going to move that heart up just a little bit. I'm going to use my arrow keys so I can get tiny little nudges. And that looks pretty good to me. And I think it looks centered. So I'm going to group the text and the heart together, but not the circle. So I just want to click and drag just the text and the heart. And I might go ahead and center align those with up here on the quick access toolbar, just to make sure they are actually centered. Okay, while they're selected, you can click group up here in the quick access toolbar, or you can just right click and choose group, or you can choose control or command if you're on a Mac and G. Lots of ways to group. So now I have my design and I've got my outline that represents the acrylic blank. What I want to do is I actually want to add a fill to the design that's going inside. I don't want it to just engrave the outline. That's not bold enough of a design for me. So over here on the right-hand side for your panels, you're going to open the Specialty Tools panel. So that right now is the second one down. And this is where you get all of your special tools. So if you're using, depending on what machine you have, there will be different options available. So you've got your Power Engraver, which we're going to use right now, but you've also got things like your heat pen and your, see, they're not all labeled right. You've got your heat pen and your embossing and any kind of specialty tool that you're using and you want to add an engraving. So I want Power Engraver. Anytime you want to add a fill is what I meant to say. It's here in this specialty tools. So you can fill in your designs for like a heat pen or anything like that. So it will not just do the outline. So I like the spiral fill the best. So that's the one on the right. And you can see when I click that, suddenly it's got those little lines, curvy lines that have filled in that design. And the default spacing is not quite enough. So I'm actually going to change it down to, we could go 0.010 is the next one down, but I'm going to do 0.012. That is enough of a fill that it looks like it fills it completely in, but it's not, the tighter you get, the slower it's going to take to finish the job. So that's your trade-off there. You can have the wider lines that'll be faster, or you can have those lines more condensed and it'll go take a little bit longer to fill that all in. All right, so it is all arranged within the circle. Do we have any questions so far that I need to answer before we go on? Okay, no questions. So I've got my text and my heart grouped together. Got the fill. Okay, so I'm going to go back to look at my full page. And we can actually do, we can do more than one. So let's just get it, stumbling over my words. Let's do 2 of these today. So I've got those all selected, including the circle, and I'm going to make a duplicate. So I'm going to hold my Alt key, or if you're using a Mac, it would be your Option key, I believe, and click and drag down a copy. So now we've got 2, and you could fill up your page. I wouldn't fill it with too many, but you could certainly do, 4 or 6 at a time, and it should be totally fine. If you're feeling ambitious, you could probably do 9 or 12. But for sake of time, we're just going to do 2 today. All right, so that is our software all set up. And now I'm going to show you how to attach your debris tray. So your Curio machine comes with the electrostatic mat when you purchase it. And so to take off the electrostatic mat, you've got 2 little lock tabs. And so you're just going to slide those apart, and that unlocks this tray. So now you can pull it out. We'll just set that aside. And your debris tray, it has kind of this front lip that goes to the front of your machine, and it's got some grooves that will slide in. So got that front lip at the front, and just slide it in. There we go. And then we lock those tabs again. Okay, so now that debris tray is not going anywhere. And it's exactly where it needs to be. It always goes in the same place, which is a really nice feature of the Curio. All right, now we're going to use our scratch paper or copy paper. And this is hard plastic, so we're not going to ever cut directly against the debris tray, but we are sketching right now. So the debris tray has some little marks of where in the corner you're going to place your paper. Hopefully you can see that, just a little mark, and then there's a mark on the side. So you're going to line up your corner piece and your little side piece, and you should be able to see the mark up here also. So there's just these little marks on there that help you know where to place. You're not butting paper up against these little raised parts. That's for the cutting mat. All right, so while that's in place, grab my handy dandy masking tape. We're just going to tape this paper down so it stays in place while we sketch those circles. We're actually going to draw just the outline of the circle for the acrylic blank. And that way, we're going to know exactly where the engraving is going to go, because what you see on your screen is what you get from the machine. All right, so that paper's in place. We're going to actually draw those circles. And so just going to take my Sharpie marker and insert it into this adjustable tool holder. So you can kind of unscrew the tool holder, and you're going to press your pen down so it sticks out the end. And it's supposed to be the depth of that cap. So if you put it in and press it all the way against the cap and then tighten it, that should be the right depth. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, and so it's a #1 tool, so it goes in the #1 side, the left side. Oh, I should probably scribble that a little bit first to make sure the ink is flowing. All right, so now we're going to sketch where those circles are. So back in Silhouette Studio, we're going to go to the send panel. And we're going to select everything. And first of all, just turn it off. We're going to say no sketch, no cut, whatever the no option is. And then we want to select only the 2 circles, or however many circles you're doing. If you're selecting circles all the way across the page, go ahead and hold your Shift key while you select those circles. I'm going to choose copy paper. And it recognizes my pen holder. And so it's planning on sketching. And so we do want to choose sketch. And this is, of course, with Carriage 1. And I'm going to increase my force just a little bit. And I'm going to give it 2 passes just to make sure the ink is flowing. So when I click send, it's going to draw those circles on my page. This confirm and send panel comes up, and it just wants to remind me what I need. And it says my automatic material thickness detection is enabled. I do want that enabled. That will let the machine decide how how thick my material is. So I'm going to click send, and it will do a little registration. Still share. Stop my share. Okay, so I did a little registration and now the pen is going to draw where I have no circles. Looks like I got my pen depth right way, so I didn't need that second pass, but it doesn't hurt to have that second pass. This is not a piece of paper we're going to save, it's just a guideline for where to place our acrylic blanks. Okay, so that's all we needed for the pen. And so now I'm going to put the power engraver in. So that's a number two tool. And so it's going in the number 2 side. So just drop that in there. What we're doing is we're making that little connection. This is how it gets power. It's got these little terminals that match up. So drop that in there. So those terminals touch, make sure it's all the way down. Press it in to lock it in place. And I don't want my pen to dry out, so I'm actually going to go ahead and take that out right now and put my lid back on my pen. Okay, so that's ready. I can go ahead and put these circles on there too. All right, so when I'm doing engraving with acrylic, there's always, or almost always, depends on where you buy it, there's some type of covering. So I need to get that covering removed and try not to scratch the acrylic underneath. So just get it started and then I can peel that off. And I will usually leave the other side on until I'm done. So I could put that one there. And I'll peel the covering off of the second acrylic. So what I'm doing here is really very similar with every acrylic engraving that I've done. So once you know the steps, it's pretty much the same. And the nice thing about the Curio too is that it registers the depth automatically. And so if you're using, this is a 3 millimeter thick acrylic blank, but if you are using a 2 millimeter thick acrylic blank, then the machine can handle that and you don't even have to tell it. The machine knows it. All right, so I'm going to take masking tape. And this is how I know that the engraving is going to take place in exactly the right spot, is because I'm putting that on those circles that we just drew, and we're not going to move anything in the software. So you want to tape these down so they don't move while it's engraving. And I want to make sure that I've left room for that, for the engraving, not to get onto the area where the tape is. All right, so top and bottom, and side and side. That's how I do it. So if you do a lot of engraving, you'll probably go through a lot of tape. And you can save your tape. If it's still sticky, you can save it for your next job. So I've just covered it enough that it's going to hold it in place. So if I wiggle that, it's not moving. And we'll tape down the other one. I'm curious while I'm doing this, if people have comments, whether they have already used the Curio 2, if they have the Curio 2. How many Curio 2 users do we have out there? And have you done engraving? Okay, so those aren't going anywhere. All right, so I'm going to share my screen again. Back in Silhouette Studio, we're still in the send panel. We're no longer going to use Carriage 1. So we're going to say, with those circles still selected, we're going to say no cut or no sketch, whatever it's giving you as the option. And we want to expand Carriage 2. So now Carriage 2 is where we're going to get our engraving options. And we can actually collapse Carriage 1 just to make more space and make it less confusing. So I want to make sure that whenever I'm doing engraving that I need to select the part I want to engrave. So I'm just going to click and hold shift and click the next one. And I'm going to choose Power Engraver Action. And those lines will turn blue. So that's your key. If you're using Carriage 2, the lines are blue. If you have red lines here, that means it's trying to do Carriage 1, and we don't want to do that right now. All right, so when you are first doing engraving, you probably need to create a new material. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to click More. Make sure I'm in Carriage 2. I'm going to click More. And I'm going to say Edit Settings for Curio 2. Actually, I'm going to click the plus button first. That means I'm going to add a new material. And up here it's selected. So I'm going to say, I'm just going to type in acrylic engrave. Hit enter. Make sure that's still selected. And now I'm going to say edit settings for Curio 2. And for this little drop down, I'm going to choose other. And I'm going to choose Carriage 2 right here. And then click this little plus button because I want to choose something for Carriage 2 that's new. So I'm going to add a Power Engraver action. Okay, so now I have this Power Engraver tab. And I'm going to set my force to 15. My speed, I want to slow it down just a little bit. I'm going to put the speed of 3. The faster your engraving goes, the more squiggly the lines look. So I like to use a low speed of about 3 when I'm doing engraving. And then that's all I needed. 15 and 3. I can leave all the others at their default. And I'm going to click Save. And now I'm going to exit out of that, those advanced settings. And in Carriage 2, I'm going to find that material I just created. I'm going to scroll down into the user defined section. And it usually goes to the bottom of the list. And we are looking for this one we just made, Acrylic Engrave. There we go. Okay. And if it did not save your changes, you can go ahead and change those now. So force 15 and speed is 3, just 1 pass. And so that looks good. So we've already got those on the machine. And I'm going to click send, but let me exit the screen sharing. Oh, actually, before I stop sharing my screen, sorry, I'm going to click send. It's going to come up with this confirm and send panel. So because I've got a clear material there, I don't want the automatic material thickness detection. So I'm going to click disable and click send. And then next. And then it's giving me these options to detect the thickness. So I'm going to use the buttons on the Curio, and then I'm going to click detect thickness. So we might go back and forth a little bit for screen sharing. Okay, since that's clear, I need something that it can register on. So I'm going to put just a thin piece of copy paper here, and I'm going to use these buttons on the side. It's going to allow me to position my detection. So this is a little confusing, but it tells you in the software to position tool 1, this one, over that area. Okay, even though it detects it from number 2, it wants you to position it with the carriage 1. So I'm just going to click on the software detect thickness and watch it do its thing. Maybe it's thinking. Okay, I think it did not like me in Zoom switching. Okay, bear with me for just a second. Okay, when I click detect thickness, it's supposed to register, but I may need to power it off and power on again. See if that helps. So if you ever have something that's not responding, it's okay to turn it off and turn it on again. So press and hold for 2 seconds, turn it off, and then I'll press and hold for about 2 seconds to turn it back on. We'll do all its reset. All right, and I'll make sure that my computer connects again by Bluetooth. Sorry about that. If you're watching the replay, you can just fast forward. Any questions, any Curio owners? Did we have anything going on in the chat?
We don't have very many Curio owners, but lots of people interested in learning more about the machine.
Okay, good. You are the person this class is for, because I think this is an awesome machine. And ignore the technical difficulties. All right, sorry for the dead air. I'm just clicking some buttons until it decides to register the Curio 2 again. Okay, it thinks it's connecting. Okay, we're close. We're close. All right, I'm not going to show you my send panel again because it is still what I was showing before. So I've got my paper down there, so I'm going to reposition the tool again where I want it. So, yep, Carriage 1 is sitting over that paper. So I'm going to click Detect Thickness, and it's working. Okay, so that, it just detected how thick that is, and it gives me a thickness on my screen of 6.2 millimeters. And based on what I've done before. So we know that the acrylic blank itself is 3 millimeters, but the debris tray adds thickness, all those things add thickness, and it's finding the actual depth that the tool needs to go. So don't worry that it says 6.2 millimeters or something around there when you know that it's 3 millimeters, because that's everything together. So I'm just going to click next and skip to send. You're not seeing this, but it's just your next send button basically, and send again. So now you watch the power engraving. Always remember to remove your paper after you've done the little stitching. Not really.
Oh, I think that's super.
So here's your emergency stop button. It's the same as the power button. So you just press it and it stops it immediately. So I have got that little piece of paper that I yanked out is stopping it from doing its job. So brush that off. These are all the things not to do and how to fix it. So I'm going to go back to, so there's a little flashing button because I hit pause. So that button I'm going to hit and it's going to go back to its home position. Reset the head. Okay, now since I've already done, I'll show you my screen again. All right, so my Curio 2 is going back to connecting back up. And what I want to do is I want to cancel this cut job. So I just click the little X. I don't want to resume, so I want it to reset so it just says send. So if I click send, and here again, I have it disabled, which is what I want. I'll click send, click next. Now, the thickness, I shouldn't have to change that again because it already detected it once. So I'm going to click next. It should just remember what it was at. And I'm going to click skip to send. And then I will click send again. But I'm going to stop my screen sharing first. No, that's sorry about this. Cancel again. And go home. And now based on time, I'm just going to do one. So I'm going to turn off the engraver for one of them. And got to reconnect. Where did I put my others? And I'm not on screen sharing, right?
Yeah, good.
Okay. So the Curio 2 is one of these machines you have to have some patience with. It does some really amazing things. That just means it has a little bit more of a learning curve. And honestly, I don't have this much trouble at home. It's only because I'm on camera. Okay, so I'm going to put my little paper on there again. Go through the same process to register. Okay, detect thickness. Now, remember to take my paper off and send it. And how many times the charm? 8 times? I don't know. There we go. That's in the gold. You can see the difference in what happens when you actually use your paper and let them how it really be even to. That is not normal. Should just do the whole job. And it just throws it in place. So we don't have, so there's a pause option. Michael, you don't see a pause button, right? You don't feel the option. Okay. Well, we're gonna turn it off. All right. So in the interest of time, the question is, do we try one more time, or do we just skip to what it's supposed to look like? Okay. I do want to show you how it cuts paper. So I apologize, that did not behave the way it was supposed to. All right, so this is what it's supposed to look like. You can see that it started to do the job, and I have no idea why it froze. When you're done, you can just brush off the the extra and, or the little debris, and take your tape off. And again, that paper was just sacrificial, so I'm not worried about the tape tearing it. Once it finishes doing its job, then you just take off the paper on the other side again. So you can see that was doing what it was supposed to until it froze. So since we already have the debris tray in, I'm going to show you how to use a cutting mat with the debris tray. Because honestly, once you buy the debris tray, it's kind of nice to just leave it in there and keep using it. That's what I do at home. It usually stays. So if you want to use a cutting mat, that is what those little ridges are for. So you can see that that mat matches up with those little guide marks of where you would put your paper directly, and it fits against those little ridges. But you do have to tape the mat in place so the mat doesn't move, because that's still kind of that slippery plastic. So we will just tape that in place. It's not moving anywhere. Just put your paper the way you normally would on your mat, upper left corner. And we'll share my screen again. Okay, back to the design page. I'm going to create a new document. And Curio 2, the tray is still the debris tray. This time cutting mat, I'm going to set to the Cameo 12 by 12. And my media size is letter. I'm going to go to my library and open the design called uh, 3D Heart Pocket 73229. Double click to open. That I want to resize it again with my quick access toolbar on the width. Make sure that's locked. I'm going to type 3.75 inches wide, and I'll just place it here on my letter size paper. And you can fit actually 6 on a single page, but I'm just going to do 1. And I'll go to my send tab. And this time it's got red lines. So it's going to use my Carriage 1. Remember, lines are blue is Carriage 2. It's red, it's Carriage 1. So collapse Carriage 2, turn on Carriage 1, and make sure that it is my favorite paper or favorite setting for Michael's Recollections cardstock, which is actually the pattern paper medium. Put my auto blade in there so it'll register, and actually take out the, you can leave the engraving tool in there or not, it doesn't matter. And so now make sure I cancel back in the software. I'm going to make sure I cancel that job before, so it clears it out. So just click that X, and here I am, Carriage 1. The lines are red, pattern paper, blade depth 3, force 30, speed 5. That's all good. So I'm going to click send, and this time I do want to enable, because it's a solid piece. The height detection should work just fine. That's a little registration. Now it's resetting the auto blade, setting it to the blade depth of 3. All right, so I will warn you that right now, the Curio 2, it's doing perforated lines. It's a little slow. I'm trying to see if the software folks can get that to speed up, but that is what it's doing right now, is a perforated line. So if you like cutting mats, if you're familiar with cutting mats, you can still use it with the Curio 2. If you use it with the debris tray, you take the cutting mat to the debris tray. If you are using the ES bed, you can either have your paper directly on the ES bed, just turn it on, or you can have the ES bed and your cutting mat being sucked against the ES bed. You just don't use a protector sheet if you're using the cardstock on the ES bed. All right, so that cut through. Make sure. That cut through. And so I can just take off the cutting mat. Take off my design. There we go. So that's really cute. And so you've just got those little perforations, just folding along the perforations. And cut out a little piece of twine. And so just tie it together. Little holes. That little design is completely ready. There's no modification other than resizing it to the size you want. And when I'm tying a bow that I want to stay flat, I will usually do 2 loops through, and then when you hold it, it doesn't bounce back. When you let go, it doesn't bounce back so much. Tie my little bow. And then the pocket hug that did work, you just stick in there, and you can put your, whoever it's going to, you can just put their name on the back. If you don't know what a pocket hug is, you can look up little sayings on the internet, but basically it's something that somebody can carry around in their pocket. So whenever they think of it or feel it in their pocket, they know that you're just giving them a hug or you're thinking about it. So it's a cute little trinket that it's a great thing for a gift for kids. I sent it with my kids when they went to camp, and it's good for teachers to give to their kids. But yeah, that's really fun. Did we have any questions?
Looks amazing.
Okay, well, thank you for joining me. I apologize that it did not work flawlessly, but make sure with the Curio 2 that you just have some patience and keep trying and reset as often as you need to. But acrylic is usually a very fun one to practice with. And usually you can buy a bunch of sets. So if it makes a mistake on one, you've got more to go with. So thank you for joining me, and hopefully we'll see you next time.